Now, I think a lot of the confusion comes from that burning feeling you feel when you're doing crunches. Just because you're feeling that burning feeling doesn't mean it's effective for what you think it's doing. Now, I'm a big believer, do what makes you happy. But if you're doing something and you're trying to expect a certain goal, if you keep doing the wrong thing, you're not going to get any closer to that goal until you get frustrated. Now, if you're trying to create abs, if you're trying to see your abs, the best thing to do is just lower your body fat. If you look at a picture of me now versus a picture of me before I compete, right now I'm probably at like 12% body fat. When I compete, I'm going to be closer to 5% body fat. You're going to see a lot more definition because I have a lot less body fat on me. And you can look at most bodybuilders. That is what you're looking for. They're really lean, so you can actually see the muscle underneath because we've taken off that layer of fat. But I think people see that look, and then all you got to do is see someone doing some weird crunch thing, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this is why I never got my abs, because I wasn't doing this particular crunch exercise. If we go back to last week's video about, too much information, it's too easy for you to see someone have a certain look, and then you think you just got to copy that. The other thing when it comes to your abs, you got to know is a lot of it just comes down to your anatomy. Using a bodybuilder, it doesn't matter how lean they get. If their genetic structure is they'll only have a 4-pack, it doesn't matter how lean they get. They cannot create an 8-pack. The perfect example for this is even someone like The Rock. Like The Rock can get pretty lean, but he's never had defined abs. It has nothing to do with, he's not doing crunches or he's not lean enough. It's just his anatomy. He just will never get big defined abs. So those are certain things you got to remember. Again, don't get caught up in seeing someone with an 8-pack and they're saying, well, I do this certain workout. And you think, okay, if I just do that over and over again every day, then maybe I can get that. Honestly, from what I've seen when people do crunches, you're more likely to hurt your neck or your back than actually get a 6-pack. Oh, I like that. I didn't even mean to make that rhyme. What I would always say to kind of focus on is your core. Now, your abs is the muscle that sits on top, the visible thing that you can see. Your core sits underneath those abs. Think of it like a belt that actually wraps around your whole torso. I'm big in really working your core to prevent lower back pain. If you have lower back pain, that's a very important area you should kind of focus on. So I'm not a big fan of crunches. Now, there are certain ways you could do crunches that's not hurtful. Again, one, not pulling on your neck or not causing too much flexion in your lower back, in your lumbar. Doing that for too long can cause problems. Doing it too aggressively can cause problems. So I would always prefer planks. But even doing planks, you want to make sure you're doing it right. You want to know you're not just holding a plank, randomly holding a plank, that you actually feel your core is engaged. And I always just say the best thing to do is kind of record yourself doing a plank. If you see a big arch in your back while you're trying to hold a plank, your lower back is going to activate sooner or later. So what I like to tell my clients is intentionally activate your abs. Feel that they're engaged. One of the best cues I would tell people is pretend like someone's going to punch you in the stomach or you're going to take a poop. You should feel your core activate and you want to be able to hold that position. Now, certain things I would do for my core is one, the McGill Big 3. Now that includes doing a curl up, which is really good to teach you how to activate your core. One of the things I see when I have a new client and I'll talk to them about brace, they automatically want to suck in. That is not the best way to activate your core. You want to think brace to add that stability, that pressure in your core to make sure you're not able to rock around and you're giving that lower back some protection. The bird dog is really great just to teach you how to stabilize. When you're thinking of your core, you're thinking of stability. So to have one hand up, or if you can make it really hard, one hand in the opposite leg and being able to hold it without shaking side to side or turning, you're working that stability. You're working your core if you're able to stabilize better. And then a side plank. That's good to help keep that posture, work those obliques better. You'll focus a bit more on those obliques. Those are 3 very important, I think, fundamental movements you could do to work your core. And then even just how you train. Most of my core work comes through my training. I'm not thinking about swinging back and forward. I'm making sure I can feel my core. I'm not rotating side to side. No matter what weight I'm lifting, no matter what I'm doing, I want to know I can stabilize and I'm in control. So if you're trying to create abs, by all means, do crunches if it makes you happy, but you want to focus more on reducing that body fat and revealing what's underneath. Oh, hey, you guys are still here. Thanks for staying to the end of the video. Please watch some of the other videos on the page and subscribe.